What makes an anime great? When you're asked this question, or when someone asks you this question, the answers are normally something like the animation, the characters, the writing, or the music. Now, all of these things are great, and definitely do make up some beloved anime just off of having one of these things alone. But something that isn't talked about often in the conversation is narration, or storytelling. And a great example of an anime with extremely good narration is the Monogatari series. Now, don't get me wrong, Monogatari has everything mentioned before and more, but I want to highlight its storytelling specifically. The Monogatari series is a series of light novels and short stories written by Nisio Isin and illustrated by Vofan that began being published in 2005. Nisio Isin, who you may recognize from his other works like Medaka Box, Zaragoto, Katanagatari, or JoJo Overheaven, and has even worked with the likes of Sugumi Okpa on a prequel story to Death Note called Another Note. Monogatari later got an anime adaptation in 2008, and its spin-offs are still being adapted today, with the many sequels on the way both in anime and light novel form. Monogatari has been referenced and has inspired other popular works like Chainsaw Man, Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, Call of the Night, and many others. Monogatari also constantly references not only Japanese media but Western media as well, showing Nisio Isin's vast knowledge on media and literature as a whole. Okay, so the writer is good and has worked with other great writers, but what about Monogatari makes the narration so special? Monogatari is about a lot of things. If I had to summarize it, I'd probably say that it's about solving paranormal activities involving people. The main character, Koyomi Araragi, finds different types of people being affected by these activities, called apparitions. These apparitions, which can be anything from a crab all the way to a phoenix or a genuine black ball of death, relate to the person that they were affecting internally, be it relating to the trauma they've had before or some type of emotion they currently feel. Araragi, using the help of his mentor Meme Oshino, involves himself with these apparitions and uses both his and Meme's knowledge to help find out not only what's causing these apparitions, but figure out how to solve that conflict in some way and remove the apparition affecting these people. This is where Araragi learns of the people around him. He appears to be distant to others and somewhat secluded, though this act of helping others shows him the many different types of personalities people have, pushing him to help even more. This also shows us as the viewer Araragi's personality and who he is, just through the situations he's put in with other people. The first episode of Bakemonogatari starts pretty much everywhere. We get 15 seconds of what's probably a flashback, Araragi peeking at some random girl, and then him catching some other girl straight out of the sky. After that girl threatens to kill him, he reveals he was once a vampire and is immortal. Okay, what? In the first 10 minutes we see a girl falling from the sky at a school, and then the MC just casually reveals that he's immortal and can regenerate? Well, get used to that feeling of not knowing what's going on, because both the episodes and the whole series sometimes just don't follow a chronological order. People have said that Monogatari is like starting a movie a quarter of the way through, and that isn't very far off, as there are about 3 prequels that come just before the very first season. And on top of that, Monogatari only tells you what it has to for you to understand the plot coming forwards, which is why it feels so confusing at times. But through this confusion is where the masterful writing truly shines. In a way similar to Araragi's predicaments, Monogatari puts the viewer into an unfamiliar world with odd surroundings, and then slowly builds up the understanding of the situation through exceptional dialogue. By giving you things to question as you watch, the moment it decides to show you the answers to your questions, you'll feel as if you've been through so much with each character, understanding how they think and act, giving another layer to the character you thought you already knew about. For example, a very important character teased in literally the first episode is Shinobu Oshino, who is introduced as another vampire in a similar situation to Araragi. But throughout the season, as it constantly shows you over and over this mysterious character, you'll sit there wondering who exactly is this and why do they even matter? But when you move on to the prequel, which is about her specifically, you'll come to understand why Shinobu means so much to the world of Monogatari. The prequel, which, might I add, literally starts like this. Like I said, get ready to get confused. But again, that confusion makes up of so much why the climactic moments and explanations feel so good to finally understand. Instead of feeding you the plot, Monogatari really tells a story that every single viewer will need to pay absolute attention to for them to finally understand, and it's definitely worth it. That's why the timeline of watching isn't linear and jumps from one point in time to another, sitting there wondering, wait, I thought we were following one thing, why are we moving here? And then finally understanding why this jump was needed for everything else to work is beautiful. It's much more than just foreshadowing and flashbacks, it tells a story. The narration has much more than just the odd timeline and making you feel confused though. In addition to that stuff, it also likes to switch the narrator, which means we can get the internal thoughts directly from someone other than Araragi, showing us another layer to their character that we might not have picked up on when looking at things through his perspective. We also have very odd white and black scenes that can show us a character's mental state just through the use of different colors. We can get inner monologues in between dialogue, making you have to pause as they go by pretty fast, showing how quick our characters have to think to respond to their situations. It's incredible. Everything from the colors used in a scene to the gags and jokes specific to each character show personality and depth. The specific language choices that the characters use in their responses, exemplifying a mastery of the Japanese language in their writing, makes Monogatari a whole different experience in anime as a medium, showing every viewer that anime can be more than just flashy colors on a screen or a drawn-out fistfight. Just small things that you'd mostly gloss over in any other scenario can mean a whole new perspective in Monogatari and its many seasons. It's absolutely beautiful and so refreshing to see. Animation is supposed to uplift the source material, and Monogatari does that perfectly. Throwing colors in place of words is entertaining, sure, and has definitely put out some enjoyable anime, but this anime shows us that animation can be so much more than that through just narration alone. By having voice acting, jokes, quirks in the character designs and changing those quirks around, the use of colors like mentioned before, or even condensing parts into episode format, shows that anime can reach different heights and feel new every single time. I can guarantee you, not a single point in Monogatari is unnecessary nor boring in any way. In a world where we can get Demon Slayer and solo leveling, we can also get a masterpiece like Monogatari, which pushes the limits of anime and animation from just words to a whole new experience through a screen. Monogatari has so much more than just the narration though. I've already sung so much praise about that, but this anime really has everything. Animation is top-notch and keeps the consistency, the style is very magnetic and pretty to look at, the writing is actually superb and is some of the best I've seen in anime, using the odd premise and setting to tackle heavy topics like morality and right versus wrong, emotion and the meaning of love, relationships with family and accepting a situation for what it truly is, as well as growing up and moving on. The characters all feel real and genuine and act like a human would, instead of just being one note or surface level, which is surprising given the odd circumstances that they're in. Aside from Shinobu, there are characters like Tsubasa Hanekawa, Araraki's first friend and the class president, Hitagi Senjogahara, who was mentioned previously as the girl who falls from the sky, and Mayoi Hachikuji, a young girl who seems lost and needs to get back home, and so many more. I can't even tell you or show you who the other characters are because something as simple as the name or character design can be its own spoiler. You probably understand it by now, but everything matters in Monogatari, and to keep your eyes glued to the screen as long as possible to not miss something super important in a scene. Monogatari demands your attention, and it isn't an anime you'd throw in at random. Following attentively to each and every character and their personality, development, and storyline, each with its own timeline, will show every viewer something that no other anime could. It's more than Araraki's story, it's more than any other character story, it's the viewer story as well, and experiencing the anime will show you just what I mean. This is a journey that involves you as much as it does with every other character you'll eventually grow close to. It's your story too. Among thousands of anime with hundreds of things that they can focus on for their production, narration is something that is taken for granted. Monogatari takes this and makes it its own, showing its timeline in a broken, chaotic, but beautiful way. Monogatari really is the anime with the best storytelling. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe. I've already started working on my next one and the rest to come, about all kinds of topics on anime and manga alike. And if this video left you wanting more from Monogatari, why don't you watch it for yourself?